Are you looking for a relatively inexpensive city car? Say hello to the refreshed Kia Rio, the quicker one. It is common knowledge that red cars are faster, except for sales rep driven bland fleet cruisers. These are even faster in monochrome colors. However, this Kia Rio is the most powerful and the fastest in the range, thanks to the mild hybrid system. Styling changes in brief. Very brief, because the new stuff is mainly under the bonnet. The Rio also got an updated infotainment system and more safety gear. On the outside, apparently the top part of the grille is now narrower and the lower part is now wider. Fog light housing is new and all versions now get LED day running lights. Kia Rio comes with one of two petrol engines. One is a 1.2 normally aspirated petrol, 84 horsepower. It's a 4-cylinder motor. And then there are 1-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engines producing 100 or 120 horsepower. The latter is the mild hybrid. A mild hybrid is, in layman's terms, a more advanced stop and start system, meaning that thing that shuts the engine off at the lights to save fuel as long as certain conditions are met. While the engine is off, the car electronics are powered from the 48-volt mild hybrid battery, which lives under the boot floor. This battery is recharged with energy produced by the starter generator when the car is driving at a constant speed. But that's not all the mild hybrid goodness Kia has to offer. More about that in a moment when we hit the road. And now, the boot. The boot size is 325 liters. It's the same as in the previous gen Hyundai i20, which the Rio was a copy of. Now the third gen i20 has a 352-liter boot, while maintaining almost the same external dimensions as this Rio. There are two small shopping bag hooks in the boot and a cubby on the left side, great for some basic car cleaning products, maybe an ice scraper or a sponge, the stuff that Skoda calls simply clever and other people call my car cleaning stuff. Under the floor is the aforementioned mild hybrid battery. Therefore, if there is a spare tire option in your market, it won't be available with the mild hybrid. Also, the higher trim non-hybrid versions may get a double floor. Here the floor ends at an angle, which makes it easier to slide items up on the folded rear seats. In the back there is adequate space, but the new Skoda Fabia this ain't. This is more or less on par with the 1 Series E87 BMW. Yes, the supermini got super big. Door pockets are small, there is no armrest, but there is a USB port so passengers can charge their electronic devices without depriving the driver of their Android Auto. Because Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are standard with this 8-inch display from about mid-trim up. There is also a reversing camera to go along with the screen. Now on higher trims, sat-nav may be standard, or you can get it as a package with 7 years of updates, but to be honest, it's not worth it because you've got a mobile phone. Sat-nav won't get better than that. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto require using a cable. There's a separate smartphone shelf. It's a shame Kia didn't add a second USB port like in the newer models, instead of two 12-volt outlets. And at the bottom of the center console is another cubby, which is lined with very hard plastic, so if you put keys, coins in there, they will rattle. The cockpit layout is simple and clear. There are several buttons and a jog dial on the left side of the steering wheel. These physical controls are for the headlight leveling, as well as dashboard and infotainment system brightness adjustment. The instrument panel features classic round dials and a small display in the middle. Everything is okay as long as you don't dig through the safety settings menu while you're on the move, because there you're met with some obscure acronyms. It's best to stop and then you'll see the full name of the system and hopefully figure out what it does. The infotainment system is the perfect blend of physical controls and a touchscreen. this is reminiscent of the best VW infotainment systems. I hope Hyundai and Kia don't screw it up by going all touchscreen. Below are physical buttons and knobs for the AC. This car also gets optional heating for the seats and the steering wheel. Well worth it at least 6 months of the year in Europe. The door pockets are large, cup holders are good, the armrest storage is on the small side, and eating into it is the handbrake. The glove box is average size. I recall that in the previous i20, which looked like the Rio, there was also air conditioning for the glove box, not so in this one, and also the feature seems to have disappeared from the new i20. The seats don't have lumbar support adjustment. On higher trims, height adjustment is both for the driver and the passenger, and the headrests can be adjusted not just up and down, but also front and back. And now let's get back to the mild hybrid business, which in the Kia works with the Intelligent Manual Transmission, or IMT. And IMT is a clutch-by-wire system, which I discussed in the facelifted Kia Stonic review. If you missed it, you can watch it by clicking the link in the upper right corner of the screen or in the description below, or you can continue watching this because I'm going to talk about the IMT anyway. Like I said earlier, the mild hybrid is somewhat of a more advanced stop and start system. As you roll to a stop, put the car in neutral and release the clutch, the engine shuts off. Press the clutch and the engine turns on again, or earlier if the battery level is low, but so far nothing too complicated. However, in constant search for lower emissions, car makers started shutting the engine off also while the car is moving. First came the cylinder deactivation technology, where half of the cylinders would shut off when not needed. Then came sailing, which is basically coasting in neutral up to and including complete engine shutoff for a short time. Not a problem when you have an automatic, but what about cars with manual transmission? Enter clutch by wire. When I release the accelerator and let the car coast but still keep it in gear, the system sends a signal to the gearbox and to the starter generator that it's okay to engage the clutch and maybe even shut the engine off. As soon as I touch the gas pedal, the engine is back on again and the car is in the same gear it was previously. From the driver's perspective, nothing changes because the system works in the background. As soon as I start braking or accelerating, the engine turns back on again. In theory, the car should use less fuel, but I was averaging around 7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, and achieving claimed 4.5-5 liters per 100 kilometers combined seems rather unlikely. When sailing, there's a sailboat icon displayed on the screen between the dials. Also, the revs go down to idling or zero. All this is possible in eco mode. If you don't want sailing, use normal or sport mode, or turn stop and start off with a button above your left knee. Kia claims the mild hybrids are easier to service than full hybrids because mechanics don't need additional certification, and you can have the manual transmission. I don't know in which alternative universe a manual transmission is a good thing in a city car, but that's what Kia says. But let's say you like shifting gears yourself, you can. Just remember, this is not the most precise gearbox. Performance. 0 to 100 km per hour should be dealt with in 10.2 seconds, says Kia. On the day of filming, it was wet and I managed 10.6 seconds. I reckon half a second can be shaved off when the conditions are right. For years, the mode button did nothing for me in most Kia and Hyundai cars, except for the hot hatch models. Here, I can feel the car becoming more fun in sport mode. Maybe it's because it's a small car, and with all that little power, I can drive it on the limit all the time, even though that's not what the Kia Rio is for. Still, a fun little car. Visibility is okay, soundproofing is average for this segment, the suspension keeps improving with every Kia I drive in recent years. It took the Koreans some time, but finally suspension actually dumps the bumps and holes properly. And the driver aids, well, for a Kia, the lane departure warning system is quite moderate, which means you can drive this car without constant beeping. This version also gets the active lane keeping assist, which I would say works better than in the EV6 or the Ceed that I drove recently. More safety systems may be available on higher trim models or as an equipment package. If you choose a DCT car, adaptive cruise control is a nice thing to have, otherwise you may want to skip it. Prices of the refreshed Kia Rio start at €14,590 for the 1.2-litre 84 horsepower 5-speed manual. This test car costs about €20,000.
In a world of increasingly complex and expensive car, the Kia Rio Supermini is what the Skoda Fabia once was. It's reasonably priced, it has decent equipment, and the 7-year warranty gives you a peace of mind. And what do you think about the Kia Rio? Let me know in the comment section below.
If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.